They said it couldn't be done. A millionaire had tried everything, the best dog trainers, the latest gadgets, even animal whisperers from across the world, but nothing worked. His dog was wild, angry, unreachable. So one day, out of pride or maybe desperation, he made a bold offer. $1 million, to anyone who can calm my dog. And just when everyone laughed at the challenge, a little girl, dirty clothes, no home, no money, walked up and did the impossible. What happened next will stay with you forever. He was the kind of man everyone knew. Powerful, untouchable. One of the richest people in the city, maybe even the country. He lived alone in a mansion that looked more like a museum than a home. Expensive cars in the garage. Priceless paintings on the walls. But none of it mattered more to him than his dog. The dog's name was Rex. A massive German shepherd, strong, sharp, and deeply aggressive. People feared Rex. No one could get close to him, not even the billionaire himself. He barked at everything. He snapped at everyone. He had chewed through leashes, destroyed furniture, and even bit a few trainers. The billionaire spent thousands trying to fix him. He brought in top behaviorists. Specialists from around the world. They used calming techniques, treats, voice commands, nothing worked. Some said the dog was just bad. Others said he was too damaged, too far gone. And one day, standing in the middle of his grand hallway with his dog snarling beside him, the billionaire lost his patience. He raised his voice and said, $1 million. That's what I'll pay. To anyone who can calm this dog. Most people laughed. Others thought it was a publicity stunt. But one small voice didn't laugh. A voice that came from the sidewalk, where a little girl had been standing, watching quietly. She couldn't have been more than 10, maybe 11. Her clothes were worn out, shoes falling apart. A small backpack hung off her shoulder, dirty, torn, but carefully zipped. She had been sitting across the street, watching everything unfold. When she heard the billionaire's challenge, she didn't hesitate. She stood up, brushed the dust from her dress, and walked forward, slowly, cautiously, but without fear. The guards stepped in. No closer, they warned. The billionaire looked down at her, eyebrows raised. You? He asked, trying not to laugh. Little girl, this dog would tear you apart. But she didn't flinch. I want to try, she said quietly. The crowd that had gathered began to murmur and chuckle. Some pulled out their phones, expecting chaos or maybe even something tragic. She's just a kid, someone whispered. This is going to go badly, another said. But the girl didn't look at them. Her eyes were locked on the dog. And Rex, the wild, snarling, unpredictable beast, was staring back at her. His ears twitched. His head tilted slightly. The billionaire sighed. Fine, he muttered. If you really think you can do it. He gave a signal, and the guards stepped aside. The little girl took a deep breath. And walked straight toward the most feared dog in the city. You could hear a pin drop. The girl walked slowly, each step gentle and deliberate. Rex growled, low and warning, his eyes locked on her every move. His muscles tensed like springs, ready to snap. The billionaire leaned forward, ready to call it off. But she didn't stop. She knelt down just a few feet from him. Not reaching out. Not making a sound. Just sitting there. Quiet. Still. Rex growled again, then paused. His ears perked. The little girl gently opened her backpack. And pulled out a small, ragged cloth. It was faded and torn at the edges, maybe once a blanket, or part of one. She placed it on the ground in front of her. Rex sniffed the air. He took one cautious step forward. Then another. The crowd gasped. And then, something no one expected happened. Rex sat down. Not just sat, he lowered his head, let out a soft whine, and slowly laid down, right beside her. The billionaire's jaw dropped. One of the guards instinctively stepped forward in shock, but Rex didn't even flinch. He was calm. Peaceful. The little girl reached out, slowly, and placed her hand on his head. Rex leaned into her touch like he'd known her forever. And then, she whispered something. No one could hear what it was. But whatever it was, it made Rex close his eyes. He let out a long breath. And rested his head gently on her lap. Silence. Total, complete silence. The billionaire couldn't speak. No one could. For the first time in years. Rex had found peace. And no one, not even the billionaire with all his power and money, could understand how. The billionaire stepped forward slowly, eyes fixed on the girl and the now peaceful dog lying beside her. He crouched down, still stunned, and asked softly. How did you do that? The girl looked up at him. Her eyes were tired, older than her years. She gently stroked Rex's fur and said. He's not angry. He's scared. The billionaire blinked. Scared of what? Her voice cracked a little as she answered. Of being alone. She paused for a moment, and then began to tell her story. Her name was Lena. She had once lived in a small apartment with her mother and their dog, a gentle golden retriever named Toby. They didn't have much, but they had each other. Toby was more than a pet, he was her best friend. Whenever her mother was too tired from working 2 jobs, Toby would keep Lena company. Whenever Lena cried, Toby would lay beside her and lick her tears away. But then, her mother got sick. Hospital visits turned into overnight stays. Bills piled up. The lights went out. And one night, her mother didn't come home. Lena was placed in a shelter. Toby was taken away. I never saw him again, she whispered. She had no family. No one to fight for her. So she ran. I've been on the streets for almost a year now, she said. But sometimes, when I can't sleep, I take out this, she gestured to the worn cloth. It's a piece of Toby's blanket. It still smells like him. The billionaire looked down at the cloth. Suddenly, the girl's quiet power made sense. I know what it's like to feel pain, to lose your person, she said. That's why Rex listened. I didn't try to stop his pain. I just let him know he wasn't alone in it. The billionaire didn't know what to say. For the first time in years, he felt something crack inside his chest. Not guilt. Not pity. Something much deeper. Understanding. The billionaire stood there, frozen. Not because of the dog. Not because of the $1 million. But because, in that moment, he saw himself in the dog. Rex hadn't been broken. He had been grieving. And in all his wealth, in all his pride, the billionaire had never once stopped to ask why. He had tried to control the dog. Fix him. Discipline him. But this little girl, this homeless, unheard, overlooked girl, had simply sat with him. She didn't try to fix his pain. She recognized it. And the billionaire realized something else, something even heavier. He had been doing the same thing with people. Pushing them away. Demanding results. Never understanding their stories. He looked down at Lena. Her tiny hand still gently resting on the dog's fur. And for the first time in a long time, he felt small. Not because he had failed, but because he had finally seen the truth. What's your name? He asked. Lena, she said softly. He nodded slowly. Lena, you just taught me more in 5 minutes than anyone else has in 50 years. She didn't smile. She didn't look proud. She just nodded, as if she already knew. The next day, everything changed. The billionaire didn't just hand over $1 million, though he kept his word and gave her every cent. But that was just the beginning. He made phone calls. A lot of them. He got her into a safe home. He arranged for her to attend a private school, the kind of place most kids only dream of. He hired therapists, tutors, counselors, but only the kind who listened, not the kind who talked too much. And Rex? Rex never left her side again. He followed Lena like a shadow. Slept beside her bed. Protected her as if she were his own. The billionaire watched it all unfold, quietly, humbly. And for the first time, he began to smile again, not the fake, polite kind. But the kind that came from something real. A few months later, Lena asked him a question. Can we help more dogs like Rex? He said yes. Without hesitation. Together, they started a small rescue program. Not just for animals, but for kids, too. The angry ones. The quiet ones. The ones everyone else had given up on. Lena didn't just calm a dog. She changed a man. She sparked something that turned a lonely house into a home. A hardened heart into an open one. And a broken life into a brand new beginning. All because she knew what it meant. To be lost. To be hurt. And most of all, to be seen. We live in a world where people are quick to judge. Quick to label others as damaged, difficult, or impossible to fix. But sometimes, the ones who seem the hardest to reach are the ones simply waiting for someone to understand. That dog wasn't dangerous. He was grieving. That little girl wasn't just homeless. She was wise beyond her years, shaped by pain, but not destroyed by it. And the billionaire, for all his money and power, was just another human being. Carrying hurt he never knew how to heal. Empathy isn't about fixing people. It's about being there. Not everyone needs a solution. Some people, and yes, some animals too, just need to be seen. Heard. Loved. The most powerful thing you can offer someone isn't money. Or advice. Or control. It's compassion. So if there's anything to take away from this story, let it be this. Sometimes, the most broken souls carry the greatest ability to heal others. And sometimes, the smallest voice in the room is the one that carries the truth the loudest. Never underestimate the quiet ones. They just might change the world. One heart at a time.